the world. Josh Ernst is the equivalent of Goebbels. Can you imagine this man says this shows that they're transparent because they admitted they had a party while he is hiding who was at the party? Can you imagine we fall into this level? Yeah, well, I can. When you have a president who's faked it from the day he started, yeah, I can believe anything. And that brings us back to the woman who's having her 15 minutes of fame. No doubt some psychotic publisher will offer her a big deal of money to write the book. I guess she'll say, what, black and trapped in a white body? Or that would be a good title. Huh? Well, I know. I'm trapped in a white body. Something like that. And that would be a big seller for the fools out there. The complete story of this idiot. So that's another big story. She changed her identity when it suited her. She sued Howard University, an all-black university, to claim that she was discriminated against because she was white. The case was thrown out. She's filed false claims in Spokane against the police. Did you know that? Of racial incidents. Did you know they were all thrown out because she's a complete fraud? Do you know this? Matt Lauer didn't ask her any of that. And now she's doubling down and lying about this race thing because she's riding it to a higher level than she did before. I mean, the NAACP is just chicken feed compared to where she's going next. Now, we have evidence that she protested in Baltimore when the city caught fire. She was at the riots in Baltimore. Did you know that? We have a clip of Rachel Dolezal. I don't think anyone else in radio had this today. Here is the faker, the race faker in clip 21. Listen to this.
I just flew in this morning from Spokane, Washington. I'm representing the Alaska, Oregon, Washington NAACP. I'm the president of the Spokane NAACP in Washington State. And this is a situation that's affecting us over in that state as well. So I wanted to join with you in support today. We just marched in Pasco, Washington, where a youth had, a rock a little bigger than this and was shot and killed in the street, Antonio Zambrano Montes. Yes. And we are supporting his mother. The cops have been on paid vacation for 3 months. And a 37-year-old black man who has 7 children just died in police custody in Spokane, Washington. This is something that is affecting us nationwide, and if there is no justice, there will be no peace.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No liars, no peace. No liars, no peace. No liars, no peace. I'd like to see 10 million people stand up and shout these frauds down. I'm sick of it. There she was, communist agitator. Put on bronzette makeup and made believe she was black. How can a black person who disagrees with me on so many issues not call this show and say, Savage, I agree with you. The woman's a disgrace. She has no right getting away with this. But not one black person, not one leftist black has come up here and said one word about that. Nope, not one. So I'll continue to do it. So because she feels she's black, she's black. So if you feel like you're a commercial airline pilot, you are now a commercial airline pilot. If you feel like you're a baseball player, can you walk out on a field, on Wrigley Field, and participate in a baseball game? Why don't you try running out onto a field of sport and say you feel like you're a football player, see what happens? Why don't you go up into a boxing ring and say you feel like you're a boxer? And when you have your head busted open by a real fighter who hits you once, what would you say? You couldn't do that to me because I felt like I was a boxer. Therefore, you had no right to beat me up. You should have respected my complex feelings of being a boxer, and you shouldn't have hit me so hard. You should have complied with my inner boxer. This is the world under Barack Obama. Now we have the faker in the White House who has so screwed up the world order that Putin is now moving nuclear missiles on the steppes of Europe again. Obama is starting World War III because of the neocons who were advising him. The golfer, the party man, doesn't understand that there are consequences. Do you know he's surrounded by girls like Rachel Dolezal? Do you understand that when I've called them a sorority, I got to calm down because I could get sick from the agitation I feel. When I have called the people around Obama a sorority, do you understand that they all think like Rachel Dolezal? They act like Rachel Dolezal? They think that because they feel like a policy advisor, they are a policy advisor. They feel that they can advise him on Putin, so they advise him in a way that starts World War III. Putin will add 40 missiles to his nuclear arsenal on the doorstep of Europe because of the girls, the sorority girls, who think that they understand foreign policy. They feel that they understand foreign policy. That's how they bullied their way through college. They bullied their way through college the same way this Rachel creature bullied her way into the NAACP. The same way Obama bullied his way into the presidency. The same way that the faker, Eric Holder, bullied his way into the Attorney General's office by threatening everybody with lawsuits. The same way the Pope is bullying his way into the climate issue, demanding a new global authority, saying rich nations are destroying the world. This man is infesting the world with his lie because he's part of the New World Order. I received an email this morning, not a she-mail, from a Dr. Ileana Johnson, who just came back from Romania in Europe. And here's what she said. I'm sad to say what Dr. Savage has warned us about years ago has come to pass even in Romania, the country that had suffered so much under 4 decades of communist dictatorship. They managed to replace one evil master, the commies, with another, the globalists, corporatists. No sooner had they freed themselves from communism in 1989 that the European Union has stepped in with the Fabian socialism with lots of indoctrination strings attached to the financial help to the newly minted and impoverished EU state in dire need, Romania. Dr. Savage warned us about liberalism as a mental disorder. European liberals on steroids, called progressives, have influenced Romanian economics and politics so much that they are now well underway to global governance. Romania now has the Green Party, environmentalism gone amok, school indoctrination into the cult of Gaia, destruction of national identity, revisionist history, border irrelevance, Muslim immigration, ignoring anything that identifies and ties Romanians to their culture and language, replacement of perfectly good Romanian words with English neologisms, brainwashing of the population by the church into blind submission to the statists, corruption at all levels, bribery for votes, socialized medical care on a dwindling budget, and a disappearance of the middle class, which had emerged successfully after the supposed fall of the communists in 1989. Dr. Savage lectured his listeners about the out-of-control immigration and all the hallmarks of the New World Order that is taking over every facet of our lives in the U.S. and across the globe. Unemployment is high. Inflation is escalating. Jobs are not created. Politicians make empty and dishonest promises to the voters. Contracts and companies are moving overseas. Young people seek jobs elsewhere in the EU. No big-time corrupt politician are going to jail, and there is a hopelessness for the future of their children. She concludes her letter to me as such. I was saddened to see in Romania the same elements of global control, despair, and welfare dependency we see in the United States today. Sincerely, Dr. Ileana Johnson to Michael Savage. So the Pope now feels he knows about global warming. He is the Rachel Donzel of the climate debate. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
Hey, our Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com, the only company I trust for wealth insurance, gold and silver. Call 800-BUICOIN. Hey, Mike. So we have the real candidate, Donald Trump, and the fake Pope, who is the Rachel Donzel of the Catholic Church. He feels he knows something about climate, so therefore he puts out an encyclical which could affect hundreds of millions of people around the globe, all in the name of Fabian socialism, all in the name of stealing from the middle class to give to the rich. Make no mistake about it, he is a front man for the powers that gave us Obama. I could never prove it, but I can feel it. And because I feel it, it must be true. Because I feel that the Pope was put here by the New World Order, it must be true. I feel I know it's true, and I identify in this manner, so therefore it's far too complex for me to explain why it's not true. It must be true. The Pope must be 100% wrong in doing so. Well, anyway, you get the picture. Meanwhile, this Rachel Donzel and the Pope coming along at the same time are almost too good to be true. How can you Catholics not object to this? How can you Americans, you know what's really ironic here and cynical and as hell? You got the leftists who have spit on the Catholic Church from the beginning of the century, spit on the Catholic Church, mocked it, made a mockery of it. And here they're embracing the Catholic Church because the Catholic Church has embraced the most radical opinions of the far left. The Catholic Church is the far left today under this Pope. That's what it's been hijacked. The Catholic Church has been hijacked by the radical left. And this Pope is a front man for the radical left, not only on the climate issue, but on every other social issue. I don't know. I don't know how the Catholic people, educated people, can't see this. Ronnie on WABC, how do you feel about the Pope getting away with this?
Oh, I can't stand it. Let me tell you. I just want the people out there to understand that the majority of Catholics out there, we do not like this Pope. We're not like the People's Temple or the Branch Davidian. We don't believe that, he's high almighty.
So the Pope's not giving out something special in Kool-Aid then?
No, not at all. And also, like I said, he's a...
Well, maybe a sharp businessman can make Pope's, let's say, climate change Kool-Aid and sell it to 2 billion Catholics.
Yeah, right.
No, I have another idea. Instead of giving out the wafer at services, couldn't they give out little packets of climate change Kool-Aid and charge 10 cents a shot?
He's not fooling us. Him and the other guys that support him, like Timothy Dolan, who's another phony, and was it Bill Donahue of the Catholic League?
I want to hear what Bill Donahue has to say after this show, because Donahue knows that I've defended the popes in the past. Remember, there was a story about Hitler's pope. For a year, I railed against that big lie, and I proved beyond a reasonable doubt that the pope during World War II was the opposite of Hitler's pope, and that pope had done everything he could to save Jews and others. Okay, and then the next thing I know is I wake up and Bill Donovan attacked me. And I really resented that. And I can guarantee you he's going to go along with the party line on this.
Well, here's the thing with him. He compromised with NBC to have the gay float up there and all that stuff, so he could do his him and Dolan, so he could do what do you call it?
Well, I understand. Look, Stendhal, the great French writer, wrote a book called The Red and the Black. And he was talking about France in his time, where a young man who was ambitious had only two choices before himself. He could put on the red of the army uniform or the black of the priesthood in order to move ahead in society. But they were both politicians, in essence. This pope is a political animal. And we in America have a little thing called the separation of church and state. We are not bamboozled by a clean white outfit and a huge cross. We're not buying this big lie. And I think it's up to the Catholic people to turn their backs on this pope before it is too late, before they wake up and find out that they're in chains. This man is a Marxist through and through. Came from a Marxist country, picked by the New World Order the way Obama was. How can you not see that? My friend, I'm sending you a great Father's Day present, Countdown to Mecca by yours truly, Michael Savage. You're going to love that novel. I'll be right back. Be here or be nowhere.
I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. And I'll build them very inexpensively. I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words.
Well, all good, unless we have to be cautious. We have to remain cynical. We're not naive. If it's going to be a Ross Perot job, forget about it. So we have to be cautious. We have to pray Mr. Trump sincerely wants to run it as a Republican and pick a candidate for VP such as Ben Carson, who will indicate he truly is running against Hillary. If, on the other hand, he runs as a third-party candidate, he's going to split the ticket and elect Hillary Clinton, and it's all over. Now, I'm glad that he said he'd build a great wall. It comes right out of my book, Trickle Up Poverty, in my manifesto. Number 2 was close the borders, use illegal aliens to build a wall between the U.S. and Mexico, pay the illegals for their labor in the form of a one-time worker fee. Upon finishing, repatriate them. Pull the troops out of Germany, South Korea, where they're doing nothing, and put them on our southern border. Number 4 was defund and repeal Obamacare. I think his advisors have read my book very carefully, and never, ever forget that although I am marginalized and ostracized by the vermin in the media, I have a monster audience. I'm on the biggest stations in the country in drive time on the East Coast. I am on the Gold Coast of talk radio. Make no mistake about it, I am not a marginal player. So they all hear me. Anyone with an over 110 IQ listens to this show from time to time. They all know what I have to think, and most of them who identify as liberals are doing so for personal gain, but they actually agree with me. They would never admit it. So there are many other things that Trump said that come right out of my book. He said that he will beef up the military by finding, quote, the guy, the General Patton or General MacArthur to lead it. He also vows to get tough with Iran. He also took a jab at Jeb Bush in